Welcome back to this Excel tips video. We will carry on with the tutorial on how to calculate hours worked after a night shift. But before we start, consider watching our first video if you didn't, where we learned how to calculate worked hours if the clock in and the clock out time are within the same day. When we wrote our formula in the first video of subtracting the clock in time from the clock out time, these are the results that we got. And you can clearly see if an employee clocked in at 8:30 a.m. in the morning and clocked out at 5:30 in the evening, he or she has worked for 9 hours. When we dragged this formula to the rest of the cells, we got the results for each specific clock in time and clock out time. The challenge we have is in our last column over here, where the clock in time starts at 6:30 p.m. in the evening and ends work at 6 a.m. in the morning the next day. So when we drag our formula to this cell, we get an error, simply because the clock out time spans past midnight. So for this specific scenario, we shall use the if function to write a formula that will calculate worked hours that go beyond midnight, especially if you had shifts. Click in the cell where you want your results, and in the formula bar start typing equals if open brackets. We now need to give Excel our logical test. If the clock in time is greater than the clock out time, we now have to tell Excel to consider the clock out time to be in the next day by clicking in the cell that contains our clock out time plus 1 to mean for the next day, and if that is false, we need to tell Excel to consider the clock out time to be within the same working day by clicking on the cell that contains the clock out time, close brackets, minus the clock in time, press enter key on your keyboard. And you can now see that if an employee clocks in at 6:30 p.m. in the evening and then clocks out 6 a.m. in the morning of the next day, he or she will have worked for only 11 hours and 30 minutes. If you have issues working with time in Excel, watch my next video on your screen right now on how to work with and format time values in Excel.